So Michael Irvin went on ESPN and completely ripped the Cowboys, saying, if you're unvaccinated, you don't want to win badly enough. Alright, Cowboys Collective here. Just wanted to jump on today and just kind of weigh in on some comments that Michael Irvin made on ESPN. So I'm just going to read some of the quotes of what he said, and we'll just unpack it a little bit from there. So Michael Irvin said, dude, you're not thinking right, whatever you got, I don't give a damn. Nothing else can be more important. You're not going to get this easily. Nothing else could be more important. Jimmy made that abundantly clear. Nothing else is more important. And not being one of the vaccinated teams that says there's other things to a great number of people on this team that are more important than winning championships, and that makes me worried. He goes on to say, if you're not one of them teams, are you really thinking about winning championships? You see what I'm saying? Okay, so now if you're not getting vaccinated and you've got all these other teams that are getting vaccinated, someone in that damn locker room should say, hey man, we're going to have a chance. Are you vaccinated? Let's go through this, because this could be a 2-week healthy dude missing games. This isn't the NBA. In this league, that could be it for you. The right person misses 2 weeks, your ass is out. So basically, Michael Irvin just completely ripped the Cowboys for not reaching that 85% vaccination threshold mandated by the league. So why is it important that teams hit this 85% threshold? So teams who hit that threshold will have relaxed protocols, be able to participate in more team activities easily. So for example, the NFLPA agreed with the league on individual protocols, so some of them are quite interesting. So I'll go through them. So let's just unpack the important ones. So basically, the big one is there's no quarantine period for those who are exposed to high-risk individuals, whereas players that are exposed to these high-risk individuals will actually have to sit through a mandated quarantine of 5 days. So this kind of ties into Michael Irvin's point about, you could have this healthy player, not injured, ready to go and play, but just because they've come into contact with an individual that has COVID, they're going to be required to sit out that game. And he's right, it's not the NBA, it's not an 82-game season, well, in a normal year. It is a 17-game season. Every week counts. So he's worried about the situation of, you got these players missing games that could have been there if they got the vaccine. And I just want to tread lightly here, because, this is a personal choice. I get it, right? Everyone has their reasons for, wanting to take the vaccine, and there's people who have their reasons for not wanting to take the vaccine. And I'm not here to persuade anyone one way or the other. I'm really here just to break down the facts of what Michael Irvin's trying to say and how he's relating the team not being at that 85% vaccination threshold, how that translates to winning. Because at the end of the day, we look at Michael Irvin's pedigree and who he is. He's not a medical doctor, right? He's not someone who's going to be able to give advice and provide, scientific information about the vaccine. Where his pedigree is in winning championships, which he did 3 times with the Dallas Cowboys. And he was really that heart and soul of those 90s teams. He kept guys accountable, was a leader in those locker rooms. Despite, his off-the-field behavior, he was a complete professional on the field, and I don't think anyone in that locker room wanted to win more than Michael Irvin. And I think that's what a lot of us Cowboys fans love about Michael Irvin, and the fact that he's, still so supportive of the team. Yeah, I think his comments directly relate, and, frustrations of, this is a guy that, Michael Irvin wanted to win so bad. I'm sure he would have cut like a limb off his body just to ensure that gave him some physical, if it gave him an advantage over his opponent to win. So for him to see these guys, not hit that vaccine threshold and, potentially be disadvantaged compared to these teams that did hit that threshold, I think that, rubs him the wrong way. And he feels that, the focus on the locker room isn't on winning, that everyone's thinking about themselves individually, which is fair, right? We don't know the long-term repercussions of this vaccine yet because it just rolled out. but essentially he's just getting to the point that, you know, there's going to be some advantages. So, and the reality is, when it comes to football, the game is consistently about keeping momentum. And I'm not just talking about individual turning points in games. I'm talking about momentum across the whole season. All it takes is us to, you know, go and look back at the 2017 season where Ezekiel Elliott had that suspension looming, and there was all the different appeals, and it kind of sporadically broke up his suspension across the season. And because of that, he wasn't able to build any momentum. And the 2017 season was kind of, we didn't really see him play up to the standard that we've seen, but it was sandwiched right between, you know, 2 years that he led the league in rushing and had the rushing title. So we can really see how momentum really does impact players at this level. Having guys away from the facility or not being able to participate fully in terms of having to follow those, you know, unvaccinated protocols, it is going to take an impact on team chemistry. For example, you know, guys that aren't vaccinated aren't allowed to sit down and have lunch with the other guys. Think about how many situations we're going to miss in terms of, you know, guys being at the facility and just talking about, hey, you know, I was watching film, look, I see this is where we can exploit this matchup, you know, where they can really just talk outside of those film sessions. I think they're going to lose out on that, and, you know, it's really going to hurt team chemistry in a way. So, and I think, you know, Michael Irvin speaks on this from a perspective of, yeah, he missed time. Like, look at the 1996 season. You know, he started that season with a 5-game suspension. This is a team that was just removed from winning a Super Bowl. Really talented roster, but they started the year 2-3. It makes perfect sense for him to say, you know, missing those 1 or 2 key players can really affect and impact the results that your team put out there. So I just kind of wanted to weigh in here, just give the facts. I don't want to really take a side or a stance on this subject. I know it's a very sensitive, you know, topic for people, and it's a personal choice. But I just want to put it out there and just see, you know, what are your thoughts on what Michael Irvin said? Do you think he crossed the line? Do you think he should be speaking on this? Or do you think, you know, do you think he's correct in saying that not being at that vaccine threshold puts the Cowboys at a potential disadvantage for the 2021 season? It was Cowboys Collective, out.